sound was enough to make your brain pump out unhealthy loads of dopamine. Nowadays, this is just another sound included in the game, with the concerned rarity losing its title. Today, we'll be looking at how legendary brawlers lost their legendary title. I'm just going to quickly talk about legendaries in the past. So in 2017, Mythic was not even a rarity, it didn't even exist. There were only two legendaries, Crow and Spike, with mechanics generally never seen before. And we also had Leon in 2018, and in a big part of 2019 was still considered one of the more unique brawlers. Also, legendaries had an extremely rare drop rate, about 0.0001%, and unlocking a few boxes would just make that rate go a bit higher, and unlocking a brawler would just make the rate lower. Unfortunately, now we have 12 legendaries, which is even more than the amount of rare brawlers in the game, and we have 33 mythics. So with that, we can see that the first reason of legendaries not being legendary anymore is the oversaturation of the rarity itself. 12 legendaries. How is that supposed to feel unique? Back then, you would look at the three legendary brawlers, Crow, Spike, and Leon, watch them as they deviously smile at you, knowing you'd never get them at all. And they were only three, they stood out. Now, there are just way too many. The second reason is the release of Ultra Legendary. Released in April 2024, this was probably one of the more controversial updates in the game. Because who in the world asked for that? We were asking for exotic, a rarity between epic and mythic, to solve the abundance of those two rarities. Instead, we got a rarity at the end of the spectrum with an uncreative name and an extremely complicated brawler, aka Kaze, costing 5,500 credits. And they said ultra legendaries are unique by having something special. Isn't that what legendaries are supposed to have? I mean, if we had Chester as a brawler with 5 supers and 4 attacks, just as legendary, what's gonna an ultra legendary be? A brawler with 7 gadgets, 7 star powers, 12 hypercharges, 15 supers? Or a brawler who copies their opponent as a gimmick or a super? What are we going to get in the game? Generally, ultra legendaries stole the hype from legendaries, and that hype was already kinda dying out. Because of reason number 3, the abundance of mythics, specifically mythics, not even epics at this point. Because since Brawl Stars has so many mythics and keeps pumping them out almost every update, these mythics are often just stealing other mechanics from brawlers, and sometimes even legendaries aren't safe. For example, Amber with Melody and Mo, we have Ollie with Leon's invisibility. So many legendary brawlers are getting their unique status robbed by newer mythic or even epic brawlers, just in a desperate attempt to give those new brawlers some hype. With so many higher rarity brawlers in the game, legendaries are bound to lose their special and unique status, which brings us to reason number 4. Legendaries no longer have a specific unique thing. If you ask someone what made Crow unique, poison, spike, splitting, amber, attack spamming. But now, if you look at the two recent legendaries, Draco and Kenji, you'll notice something extremely worrying. If you ask someone, what makes Draco legendary? Oh well, he has a critical attack, kind of like Piper, and he has a super which allows him to, get a second form, which spams attacks like Amber, and then his super just allows him to get more ammo and last a bit longer. Suddenly, that player was just shut up and listen to themselves. Like, you just compared a legendary brawler to existing ones. Do you call that a legendary? Let's look at Kenji. Okay, what makes Kenji legendary? Oh well, he has a dash like Mortis, a swing like BB, he cycles his attacks like Chester. His super, he throws himself and does an X mark while also healing himself, like Edgar. And the super kind of behaves like Grom or Bonnie or Lily. Again, that's the exact same problem. You talked about the legendary brawler's attacks and super by comparing them to existing things. A legendary brawler is supposed to be unique, outstanding, not a cocktail of existing brawlers and then just call that a legendary to put it in for a high price in early access and get Timmy to buy it. I know early access will be removed, hopefully, but still, the brawler is still expensive and difficult to unlock. Why? Because they're just a bunch of existing brawlers shoved in one. I mean, at that point, Rosa should also be legendary if we're just doing this logic. Number 5, and this is probably the biggest reason why legendaries aren't legendary, is the easiness of unlocking a legendary. Back in the day, you absolutely didn't know when you were getting that legendary brawler. It could be next day, next week, next 5 years, even. And it was hype. You were really excited, just wondering when are you going to get that shiny, unique brawler? Now, with the credit system, it's like, yep, you see those 3 legendaries right there? You are going to unlock them at this certain point. And not only that, you can even pick what legendary brawler to unlock. That's the problem now. You know when you're going to get the legendary brawler. You know what's going on, and that makes it feel boring. It's like, yeah, here's the thing, all obvious and stuff. In fact, the first legendaries you get to choose from are Crow, Spike, and Leon. A severe emphasis on the fact that these brawlers are no longer legendary due to the fact that they've been copied 1,000 times by different brawlers and they're so old that many people are just begging for them to become less rarity. I mean, people are asking Supercell to make Spike a super rare. How can you get such a downgrade? And even getting them from a legendary star drop, you feel hype for a second. All of a sudden, you just go on with your life as if nothing happened. While before, because of course it was a surprise, you would just keep dumping around and screaming and showing it to all the kids in school and they would be impressed and the tantrum would go on and things and that. Now, you just get a brawler, it's like getting any other brawler. I mean, at this point, getting brawlers is not really unique anymore. They all feel the same. It's like rarities don't matter. And that brings me to the next point. How to make legendary brawlers unique again. One solution, which is something Brawl Stars will never do because sunk cost fallacy kind of, is slowing down on brawler releases. We don't need one brawler every month. This makes the brawlers themselves not really unique. I mean, they just become easily forgettable. When was the last time you've seen Meeple? And he was only released like 6 months ago. Like, so many brawlers get forgotten just because there are just so many being spammed right now. Second of all, just stop copying mechanics. It's blatantly obvious. Sure, copy a mechanic or two, but not 5 at once with Ollie. How can you get Miko, Mortis, Juju, Eve, Leon in one brawler and expect that to be called unique? Just copy a thing or two. We wouldn't mind it. Cordelius copied Otis and Buzz, but his super was so unique, we didn't care. But now, you just mix too many things. You can't come up with something new. The problem is, the player base is spamming concepts every flippin' second. There are so many concepts online in Reddit and in YouTube. What the developers have to do is just scroll. Scroll to find that one nut job with his concept that seems unhealthy and just try to make it fit the game. There are so many fans out there with their creative ideas, but Brawl Stars, they just want to stay and just go with the shortcut, the easy way. Just make, of course, more money and think less, because think less and means less money spent. Third of all, just remove Ultra Legendary. No one cares about that rarity. We don't want extremely unhealthy brawler. Just remove it. Maybe make Kaze change form automatically by using the super. Why bring Ultra Legendary? Who asked for that? Just keep legendaries authentic, my people. That's it for the video. Hope you liked it. See you in the next one.